There I am. Hello, gorgeous humans. This is day 3 of the Quantum Leap Masterclass. Today's an exciting day. We have some special guest speakers that are going to come on and share their stories. And it's all around the context of what we've been talking about throughout this master course, all about defying the odds, believing in what's possible, not listening to the status quo, the collective, being brave. And they're going to share their story and the life that they've created. And a big part of them expanding you is to show you that they've also created a life on their own terms. That's not about the status quo, that they can live in alignment with their own like energy type if you're into human design that works for them. And I want to expand you guys because, like I said yesterday, expanders are a big part of our manifestation. It's a big part of my journey. I would never have believed that it was possible to create the business that I have, especially in the energetics that I have used without pushing people or sales ads. It's these energetics that are so powerful. And this is why I launched the prosperity laws, as you guys saw yesterday. And when I started seeing coaches, women, mentors that did their business in a way that I wanted to do in an energetic way, and the amount of money and all the things that I desired to do, it made me believe it. And as soon as you believe that it's possible, then things start happening because it's all about actually believing that things are possible. So when you're hopping on, say hello. Let me see who's here. We have Jamie, we have Sydney, we have Rebecca. Hello, Tanya. I'm so happy you're here. I've missed you too. So before I bring on the first speaker, and I also want to leave it open, I'm going to be able to be live here with you guys till 1:30. So if you guys have questions, anything around the context of this masterclass, fire away and I will riff. And if you don't have questions, I have a final there for us anyways. But what I wanted to do is do one of the draws first. So there were 2 draws for everybody who shared before. One person I'm going to pick up draw the name out right now that is going to win a whole free membership in the We Go First membership. And this is going to be extraordinary. So we get to work together for a whole year, and Prosperity Laws will be your first course if you end up winning this. And then I'm going to do a draw after our speakers are done speaking, and then I will bring them up. So we got our little draw here. So the winner for the pre-draw that is, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I just saw this beautiful lady tag me too. So the winner of the We Go First membership for a full year with me is Miss Daria Mulgard. Hope I said that name sweet. Congratulations, gorgeous. And I love you because you always, honestly, I'm so happy that you won this. And congratulations because you always leave the most beautiful messages. And I see you doing the work, and I'm so excited to spend a whole year with you. So congratulations. And there will be another person that's going to win a whole year membership with me. And then I'm going to pick 3 names. And I'm not just going to give 50% off. I'm going to give you 80% off. It's my birthday month and I'm feeling generous. And then you get to use it towards any kind of programs or bundles, excluding private coaching, masterminds, and the mentorships because they're already discounted as it is. So congratulations, Daria. If you're live, let me see. I just want to see the comments. Hello, Dr. Linda. Hello, Callie. Callie's here too. Okay, perfect. Are Callie on the Zoom with us? Not yet. Okay, so the first person that I want to bring on to expand you is actually a private client of mine. She joined the Calibration Mastermind with me. Her name is Tammy Resco. She is incredible. For those of you into human design, she is also a projector 5/1. I attract a lot of 5/1s in my life. She's extraordinary. She's so wise. She's a bold leader. She's got that defined heart. She is here to speak to the collective, and she has a miraculous story. And I want to bring her up to share her story. Come on up, Tammy. Do you want to mute yourself or do I have to mute you? There we go.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys all hear me okay?
Let's see the comments. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Lindsay.
Can you guys hear me okay?
I think we're good because I can hear you.
Yeah.
So
Perfect, perfect.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I am so excited that Alina has asked me to come in and speak and share my story with you guys and how I quantum leaped and how I got to get to where I am today. And so I would like to begin by telling you that I had many professionals tell me that I would never become a mother. And so I struggled with infertility for 12 long years. And I want to tell you that I defeated the odds because I had my miracle baby in December of 2022. And that is all because of the work that I did with Elena. I wasn't a client of hers at the time, but I did follow her. I did like master classes. And so I was in her world, but I wasn't in her world full time like I am now. But even so, the difference was incredible. And so the modalities that helped me quantum leap was I'm a big believer in God. And at the time when I was going through my infertility, I hated him because I thought I was being punished for what I was going through. But I then had my awakening and my transformation and my healing and my awareness where I realized that it was happening for me. And if I tell you if anyone asked me, Ashley, would you do it again? I would say yes. Why? Because it's changed me. It has shaped me to the person that I am today. And I had so many different versions of me. And I thank each and every one of them for bringing me to where I am today. And yeah, I would do it all over again because it shaped me. It taught me. I, I, I grew in an emotional intelligence. I overcame duality, and I became a better wife, a better woman, a better educator, a better coach. And so, if I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't be holding my son. And so, what I did to help me quantum leap to where I am today. And I'll share a little story with you guys after this. Was that I did a lot of worked on a lot of energetics, a lot about feeling, tapping into what would it feel like to be a mom, to envision me holding my son, to every single detail. And so I'm going to break it down to you because this is exactly how it happened. And so every morning I'd wake up in the morning. And Elena teaches us all the time about the subconscious mind when it's the proper time to manifest. And it's all about the timing. It's always in the in between of waiting, right? And so I would always do my visualization and my meditation before bed and first thing in the morning. And I would visualize every single detail of my IVF because I had to go through IVF to get pregnant. I had to go through 4 rounds of IVF, and so my last round of IVF is when I got pregnant with my son. But what was different was the energy that I was in, the mindset, the visualization, how I would feel in every single step to get there. And so every night and every morning, I would visualize my eggs growing inside of me. I would visualize me in the operating room when they would remove the eggs out of me. I visualized the phone call I would get from my fertility team telling me how many eggs fertilized. I visualized the embryos growing into these beautiful cells. I visualized the embryos, transferring back inside of me and how I felt in that moment. I visualized the news of the nurse telling me that you're pregnant, Tammy, the numbers look great. I visualized me seeing, hearing my baby's heartbeat for the very first time. I visualized every single detail to the point where I cried. Like I truly, truly felt it. Like I was so grateful for every single moment that I was to get there. And I'm not gonna lie, I experienced every single thing exactly to the phone call that I got, what the nurse said to me, the number of embryos that I got. I visualized I was gonna get 3 embryos, and I did. I visualized I was gonna have 2 embryos gonna be implanted in me, and I did. And I visualized the phone call that I got from the nurse saying, Tammy, your numbers have gone up, you're pregnant. So I got to that extent, to that point. And if I didn't do that work, if I didn't tap into the frequency of gratitude, the frequency of energetics, your mindset, um, the way I viewed my journey, I wouldn't be where I am today. And just last week, I was holding my son, putting him to sleep. And I get goosebumps every time I like say this. I looked down at him and I said, Mama loves you, and Mama loves you to the moon and back. And I visualized that exact moment, the age and everything.
Happy Friday. Just a reminder to staff, we'd love to see you in the staff room with your lunch.
I visualized that completely. And I looked down at him and I cried. And I said, Tammy, you've been here. You're here. Like I quantified, I was physically there experiencing it, but I just didn't know when. And I had to hold on to so much faith. And it's hard to hold on faith because, like Elena teaches us, that faith is the unknown. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's tapping into that frequency of trust, the frequency of hope. But what if it does happen? What if it does work? Right? So many years I tapped into the energy of fear. And I honestly, truthfully believe that's what blocked me from getting pregnant because I was always holding on to the fear of that 1 month that didn't work out or the cycle that didn't work out. I had a failed um, egg retrieval or whatever it was at the time, but it can go within your life. I brought all of that fear with me. I didn't let go. I didn't forgive. I carried it. But when I actually did the work, forgave, let go, surrendered, tapped into my feminine energy, trusted, I was so grateful for everything that I currently had right now in this present moment. And I was so grateful for what was coming because I tapped into that energy. So I quantum leaped. And so when I think of last night, last week, and that when I was putting him to sleep, and I was like, I was here. And I took a step back. I'm like, oh my God, wow. Like, wow. Like people are missing out on this. Like this stuff works. God is working behind the scenes, universe, source, creator, mother nature, whatever you may believe in, they are working. But we also have to put the effort and we got to do our part into it too. So wherever you are in your journey right now, whatever you may be going through, please know that if you tap into this energy of quantum leaping, believing, trusting, working on forgiveness, letting go, surrendering, you will get there. And when you do, you're going to say to yourself, I was here in this exact moment. And now I am really here in the physical world. But you have to be present. You have to be so grateful for everything that you currently have in your life right now. And then be so grateful for what is coming. Because it's coming. The quantum world, like Elena said, it doesn't speak in time. It doesn't know time. It's all about your energy, the frequency that you're in. You have to tap into that. That's the language that it speaks and understands us. So you have to step into that, knowing that it's going to happen and just surrender. And I know that's so hard. I get that. I've been there. We all have, that's here on live. But we're here to tell you that it can happen and it will. We are your expanders. We're here to show you if we can do it, so can you. So that's a little bit of my story. Oh, and by the way, because of my journey, I knew, and it was a calling for me, that I became a fertility coach and a Reiki practitioner because I truly believe in this work. And it all comes down to mindset. Everything's connected to our energy. Everything's connected to a mindset. Our mind, body, and spirit are all aligned. So if any of those three areas are off, then we're off. And so that is my passion. I love what I do. Um, and I love helping other people going through it for them to believe in themselves and to believe in this work because this work is powerful and it's true.
Oh my gosh, I love that. What a miracle. And I have two friends, I think I told you this guys yesterday, like that also were told like by multiple doctors and they went to see the best doctors and they were like, it's not possible. And this is the thing, like obviously we need doctors. I love doctors, but sometimes when someone of authority, and it doesn't have to be technically a doctor, but we've had studies of people with white coats. I don't know if you guys took psychology ever, university or high school, but there's a lot of tests. Like as soon as somebody in a white coat tells you something, people would literally inflict pain on people. There's like a shock test. You guys can Google this stuff, but the point is like I talked about yesterday that we're all so conditioned to be followers and to obey, and then we have to. But then we're not taught how to be self-led, and we're always looking for like the guru when you're your own guru. We're always looking for people to guide us to do things because we're so conditioned to be followers since we're little. And the issue is then we are constantly looking for authorities and putting people on pedestals. And I often talk about this, even me or anybody that you find successful, not to put them on a pedestal, because then you say that they have more authority when what the goal is that we're all powerful. It's like equal power, but different, that kind of mentality. But there's a lot of proof that when someone tells you something and you look at them as an authority, you'll make it true. And then you'll make that true belief. Like a doctor told me, the best one in the country, 5 of them told me it's not possible. You will believe that. And our beliefs create everything. And as soon as you lock and load that belief, you're going to have that predictable outcome. And so we have to be careful with who we listen to. And I'm a big believer, even if everybody tells you it's not possible, you're the one that's supposed to defy the odds. I believe in trailblazing. And this is another reason I brought these women up, because not even just the fact that they've had miracles and quantum leaps, but they're trailblazing. They're doing things on their own terms. They're entrepreneurs. They're like, I'm doing it this way and my way. Like, and this is what I also want to expand you guys with, that even no matter what age. I have another client that was going to come and speak, but she got busy. But she was a psychiatric nurse, and and she always told me, I was like, I wish I could be at home but help people. And I'm like, but you probably could, you could create that. She's like, my boss would never go for that. And now she's making 6 figures in her pajamas. She's Zoom calling and teaching other nurses. It's like anything's possible. I've also been in masterminds with doctors who created businesses now, make way more money, but the holistic approach and doing their own thing. The point is like, if you desire it so much, then you can create it. And really God decides, universe decides, and this is something we have to remember, is like, if I desire this so much, I'm going to create it with myself, and I'm going to pray to God, or I'm going to work on co-creating with the universe, whatever you connect to, but we ultimately get to decide what's possible for us. Nobody gets to decide that. And something else that I want to riff about, because Tammy brought up, and I know Tammy has to get off in 10 minutes, but I want to riff about like this whole obsession with the how. So whenever we need to know the how of something happens, we actually block the flow of miracles, quantum leaps, magic, money. Because as soon as there has to be a how, that means you're always looking for a formula to do something, a step-by-step process. And the reason humans do this is because humans love to have control. It's like, if I know how to do something, then all I'll need to do is constantly do that to get this result. But if we get obsessed with a formula, a pattern, a step-by-step to create something that we want, now we solidify that this is the only way it could happen. And when you solidify in your mind that, okay, so let's give an example of being an entrepreneur. So if you're an entrepreneur and you wanted to know how to make a 10K, and someone taught you like a step by step, and then you stuck with it. And let's say it was like a hustle, you got to hustle, you got to cold DM people, but you have solidified in my mind, in your mind, I'm going to create this pattern, it's going to create this result, but now I have to constantly do it to believe that I can make 10K, versus, wait a minute, I could literally tap into gratitude and imagine people showing up, and then they do. But when you tell yourself, I have to have a formula, a pattern, it has to be this way all the time to create this result, then you're only creating that predictable results. And we like this as humans, right? Because we want to create predictable hypotheses so that we have less pain and suffering, and then we always need to do things. We like control. But then you lock yourself only in creating predictable things through that formula, versus you can make 10K anyway. You can make 10K by literally like just dreaming of a dream client coming in, or posting and trusting the right person's going to find this. Or my mentality is always like, people are on the edge to buy from me at any moment, because I have so much evidence of people that just come out of nowhere, and I believe that. But if I believed I only have to hustle every day, I have to go live at like 5 days a week, and I have to do a masterclass every week, and I have to cold DM people, that's the only way to make 10K, I lock myself in these predictable patterns. And then I can't allow the receiving of magic money, quantum leaps, miracles, because those exist without the how. It's like you can't get locked in the how. Otherwise, you're always going to stay in the predictable. And I've seen entrepreneurs do this a lot. It's like, I have to do it this way. Even in like fitness as well. It's like, I have to work out at this time in the morning and do the cardio to get this results. But that's because you believe that's the only way, when really it could happen any which way. Even for those of you who are like, I want to be a multi-millionaire, it's like that. You don't need to know the how, because you can get in. Someone could just give you inheritance that you don't even exist. That happens. You could win the lottery. Your partner could tap into money. Your partner could get a raise. It could happen any which way. So you got to let go of the how. yes, in entrepreneurship, we got to show up, but like strategies change. It's you got to believe that people can come in at any time. Miracles can happen any moment. So you got to let go of that how because it's not up to you either. And then that's the only way. This is what I needed. I'm so happy. And like this is the only way, then we get stuck in predictable patterns. We want to be open to anything. Anything's possible. Anyway, like all the time. That's what we want to open up that field. So I'm happy that Tammy brought that up because your need to know how will stop the flow of magic and miracles and quantum leaps. It can happen any which way. I don't have to do master classes to sell. People can come in anytime. And I know that when I'm not in launches, people come in. And you got to believe that too, that people are on the edge about to buy from you, that money's coming in. It can come through your mom, it can come through an inheritance. You have no idea where it could come through. But if you're locked and loaded, have to do step A, one, two, three. It's same thing with manifestation. You know why I call it a sequence? And I never say it's a one-step formula because we're all different. The way you do it, the way I do it is different. The principles are the same. There are laws. That's why I'm going to teach these prosperity laws, but the way you do it is different. And the way that you tap into gratitude is different. This is why I also like human design, because your alignment theme has a lot to do with you manifesting, if you know how to live by that. So let go of the how. And I'm so happy that Tammy can show up to like expand you that anything's possible. Like people can tell you, doctors, authority, you can't. And you got to be like, I can. And you got to be the trailblazer. You got to defy the odds and then find people to expand you. So anyone that's been struggling with fertility, like reach out to Tammy. I know she's got programs too. Do you want to tell them how else to connect with you and what you have going on? Because I know there's people here and there's also people that could share that with people that know that are struggling. So if you want to tell them how to reach out.
So you guys can reach out to me on Facebook. You can send me a private DM, or you guys can reach me out on Instagram, which is great. My tag is graceful growth dot coaching. You can send me an email as well too at tammy.resco@outlook.com. Yeah, and just reach out to me. If you can book a consultation with me. I offer packages. Yeah, feel free. I have programs. I have two programs that's self-led. So one is called the Miracle Mindset Program, which is all about just getting into the right proper mindset, learning about nutrition, taking care of your body, working on forgiveness. There's some meditations in there as well too that I incorporated. And then I have another program called the Divine Being Program, which is just tapping more into your feminine energy. Because when we're going through our fertility journey, or actually any type of our life, we're always in a masculine energy. We forget about the feminine energy. And so this was another crucial thing that I did was learning to tap into more of my feminine energy, which is like the trust, the faith, the leaning back, um, loving you and just having fun with life because life can take over and we don't want that. We only have one life here and we got to live it to the best that we can. And so those are the two programs that I offer. If you're interested in Reiki, I offer distance Reiki if you're somewhere in the GTA. I work right now through the Womb in Burlington. It's a wellness clinic. So I'm there Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Saturdays, I do private. So you can reach out to me and that would be only online. It won't be in person, but that's an option as well too. So I just want you guys to know that if you have something in your heart, um, that, that calling, oh, sorry, that calling in your heart, was there for a purpose. So if there's something you need to follow and your intuition is telling you, that wasn't just there just for fun. It was actually there for a reason and a purpose behind it. That was God, source, creator, universal, mother nature, whoever you may believe in. They placed that there for a reason. So you got to follow your gut, follow your intuition. So I'm sending you guys all love and light and just know that you to continue to believe in yourselves.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Tammy has to hop off, but thank you for being here. Just reach out to her. And especially for those of you of family or friends, you know someone struggling and they need a different way, this is the way, right? Like, so reach out to Tammy. She's incredible. And she's a 5-on projector, so she's just good at like bring her into the conversation and she'll have the right answer that's going to come through. So thank you so much for being here. You're incredible. I love you so much. Oh my gosh. I love stories like this. This is like anything's possible. Hello, Callie. I'm so happy you're here. So our next speaker we're going to bring up is Michael Emily. I love this beautiful human. She is, if you're into human design, I like to start with that too. She is a Manijan 1-3. I love 1 3s. You guys are incredible. And she's been a client of mine as well. She's been in multiple programs. I think we've been connected for what, 3 4 years? Like, and again, how? We don't know how. We just zing, we get connected, guys. This is what I say all the time. Like, for those of you, I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs. So I like getting examples like this, but like you just gotta show up. This is the go first part. You go first, you post in the energy of like, this lights me up, my soul's calling me to do this. And you post and you trust God, universe, source, the person that you're meant to guide is gonna show up. And that's just how it happens. We don't need to push people. We don't need to chase people. We need to learn the art of energetics and trusting people. And me and Michael were talking about an awesome concept, right? And some of you guys have been in my world, but I often talk about like getting wet chicken energy and just like being so excited about things, right? Like, for those of you who are generators or mani-gens, like satisfaction, that feeling of like turned on, like literally your vagina's turned on. That's that feeling of like, this is correct. When you follow that, when you write posts from that energy, when you like sell from that energy, like a lot of you guys were telling me yesterday, oh my God, your energy, your energy. Yeah, my energy, I'm lit up because I love this work. I love this work so much. I get excited to come up here to speak with you guys. It's like something comes over me, but I'm in this energy of like, I am so turned on. And because my energy is so turned on, because it's authentic, it's real, I'm passionate, I love this work, you feel it. And for those of you in human design, one lines, you're the only ones that want to like read sales pages, want to make sure this is the right thing. But I will tell you, I track one lines all the time. And they're like, I didn't read a sales page. I was just like, yes, let's go. And it's energetics. And this is why I created the prosperity laws. I want to teach you energetics for influence, for magnetic marketing, for money, for everything, because everything's all about like your energy. You go first. Gratitude, being excited. Then it's like, oh my God, what else is possible? Right. So I just wanted to share that for those of you. It's like you got to be in the zone, you got to be lit up. And Michael, Emily's a Manny Jen, and she can get very fired up too. And so, hello, gorgeous human. I want you to come up, say hello to everybody, and share your beautiful story.
Hello, thank you so much, Alina. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. And yeah, talk about my story of manifesting quantum leaps, crazy, unpredictable magic and miracles. And it all for me has revolved around adventure, lifestyle, like completely redefining what's possible for me in life, and love as well. So, like all these juicy, exciting things for the feminine. And where I want to start with this is just telling you that I am like a regular ass girl. I grew up on a farm in a tiny town in Eastern Washington, Washington State in the States. And yeah, it was a tiny town of 500 people. My family farms, so it's a fifth generation family farm. I grew up with like the values of a work ethic and, doing chores and feeding animals and just like normal down to earth stuff. And I was able to manifest an insane adventure where I lived on a sailboat for 5 years. I traveled the Caribbean, I traveled all over the world. I turned what I was doing into an online business that was able to support me full time in living that adventure. So, like, if you would have told me, at 18 years old, here's where you're going to be at 23, 24, 25, I would have been like, what are you, crazy? No way. That's not even possible. That is not what people do with life. But it happened through some crazy turns of events that I will walk you through exactly how it all happened. But yeah, I just want to start with that to remind you, like Alina is saying, that there is a plan, there is a destiny, there are things that you cannot even possibly imagine meant for you in life. And I love like manifesting from this place of desires and where you want to go and who you want to be, but also just trusting that it could be 10 times more magical and incredible than you could ever even imagine, because that's what happened for me. So normal childhood. I grew up, I went to college because that was not an option in my family. You could choose where you wanted to go and what you wanted to study, but you were absolutely going to go to college. So I went to college and I hopped around from like 6 different majors. I really did not know what I wanted to be doing with my life, and nothing really felt like a perfect fit. Nothing really spoke to me. So as I'm getting near the end of my college years, I find I just land in a business major. But as I'm watching all of my peers get really excited about doing internships and getting jobs and going down the corporate path, I just feel like my soul kind of curl up and die as I'm looking down that trajectory of being inside, working in office, working in a cubicle just was never going to be the thing for me. So I got really depressed, like super depressed for the last couple years of college, to the point where I was like a straight A student growing up. And in my last year of college, I almost flunked out because I could hardly get out of bed. I just was so distraught. I was so discouraged about, like, I felt like I had wasted my time, like I was putting myself down a path that I didn't even want to walk, and I didn't have any idea what to do or how to get out of it or how to change my path. Um yeah, so I almost flunked out. I won't say that I was suicidal. I never tried to take my own life, but I was in a place where I understood that the life that I thought was possible and the life that I was living in that moment was not worth living. So I knew that things really absolutely had to change. And I started looking for help. I started downloading podcasts on psychology. And the one message that hit me and landed so hard was, what would your life look like if you were taking care of yourself like someone you are responsible for helping? And that completely flipped a switch in my brain because I hadn't been taking care of myself. And I was just locked in this victim mentality of like, you know, this is terrible. This is all that I've been told that I can do with my life. I don't want to do that. I don't know what else is possible. But I just had so much self pity for myself for being in this place. And that little mindset shift set me down a course that changed everything. So I started taking care of myself. I started practicing yoga. I started journaling daily, two habits that are like absolutely core to me right now. So as long as I am doing these two things, like checking in with my body, my heart, my soul, my mind, I love that Tammy brought that up because it's so true. When you are taking care of your body, you are learning about things that interest you, when you're investing in your heart, in your relationships, and your relationship with yourself, and you have this connection to a higher power, like everything just kind of streamlines and you just find alignment, and pretty soon you're on the path and the path starts taking you places. So yeah, I realized that I didn't have to go down the path that I was setting myself down. And I started looking at other options. So I wanted adventure. I wanted to climb mountains. I wanted to live outdoors. And I thought, I'm going to live in a van. Van life was kind of taking off. This was like 2017, 2018. So van life was like the new hit thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to live in a van. I'm going to write. I'm going to read amazing books. And I'm just going to see what happens. But little did I know what the universe had in store. So I had picked out this van that I was going to go buy. I was going to drive to Seattle this weekend. And I got a call on Thursday from a friend of mine, an acquaintance, kind of like this guy that I had known a little bit. We'd spent a little bit of time together. Like, he was cute. Maybe I had a crush on him, but he was off, doing his thing. And we hadn't caught up in, gosh, maybe 6 months, like maybe 9 months. Like, we just were not really connected at all. So he calls me up and he asks, we catch up, what's going on in life? And I tell him about my plans to buy a van. And he goes, oh, well, I'm down here with the boat in Florida. And in the new year, like this was November, he was planning on sailing for the Bahamas in January. And he said, it's just me, my brother and my friend decided they were kind of done with the sailing adventure, so they went home, and I'm on my own, and I'm sailing for the Bahamas. But you're adventurous, and I know that you love writing, and I know that you might be interested in doing a blog, or coming along and making videos with me and doing this adventure. So would you want to join me as crew on this crazy sailing adventure? And that was the invitation that I could not turn down. So I put the van idea aside and I ended up moving onto this sailboat with this man who became my boyfriend, became my business partner. We were engaged for a year. So that was from yeah, let's see, age 22 to 27. And this was everything that I needed to help me find my purpose. So what ended up happening is I get on the boat, and he hardly knows anything about sailing. I hardly know anything about sailing. So we're just on this wild ride, figuring it out as we go. But we're traveling, we're seeing beautiful places, and it's just a huge learning curve with that. And with making videos, I was insanely shy. I like doing something like this is something that would have had me like literally couldn't breathe because my heart is pounding so hard. I would have like sweating out of my skin. Like I was incredibly self-conscious and hated taking photos, hated being on video, couldn't stand the sound of my own voice. So yeah, I walked into this situation where I was doing a YouTube channel. I was filming my life. I was putting it out there on a weekly basis. And that helped me step into so much confidence, so much self-assurance. And it really paved the path for me to identify like the coaching world and what I wanted to be doing, and sharing my story and teaching others and guiding others to access their own purpose and confidence as well. So how the sailing epic adventure ended up, it was incredible. I'm 29 now. I got off the boat at 27, and around like the last year or so of that sailing adventure is when I found Alina online and got into her world. And it was a good relationship. It was an incredible adventure, but I started realizing that I had changed in the adventure. I was not the same person at 27 that I was at 22. Um, the wild, crazy adventure man who was so perfect for me in my early 20s was not the man that I wanted to have babies with and, kind of settle down, whatever that looks like. I just didn't feel like he was ever going to be that kind of person, because like safety was not a huge priority for him, and that's fine and that's great. And he gets to live that life, and I get to align with the life that's right for me. So at 27, I ended the engagement. I stopped living on the boat, and I literally had nothing. So I kept the dog. The dog is my baby. We got her together, but I kept Lola, and I left him with the boat, even though I had poured, my savings in it. I had sold my car to, buy things for the boat and contribute to that adventure. And I left him the business, I left him the YouTube channel, the followers, everything, and I just walked away. So yeah, at 27, I felt like I was just kind of starting my life over from zero. I moved back home with my family. I'm so blessed to have an amazing family who can support me, who has a farm with tons of work to do. They're like, yeah, we got work for you to do. Come here. We'll put you to work. You can drive a tractor. You can feed cows. So they helped me get back on my feet that way. And then the past 2 years have been all about me aligning with my purpose as an entrepreneur and epic love in my life. And that's where I am now, is running my own coaching business, helping other women find their purpose and step into their confidence. And I'm so blessed now to be with, oh my God, the most amazing man who, like, I never would have thought that I could be in a relationship with it like this. And I think when I reflect back on prior relationships and how they compare with this one, what I would really love to leave you with here today is the huge aha for me, which was I had to go on a journey of believing in myself enough, seeing myself as worthy enough to receive the kind of incredible love from this man. And that's why I wasn't able to be in a relationship with someone who's so loving, who's so generous. Like this man, I swear, like he does something every day that is so intentional because he just knows it's going to make me happy. Like he makes me coffee in the morning. He loves cooking and like making meals that I love. He bought me a ski pass for the season so that we could go skiing all season long because we're right next to the ski hill. We just moved into a new house, and so he's like, okay, what's your office setup? What do you want? Like, what kind of desk and chair? And he like literally just got my whole office setup done for me yesterday. And yeah, it has me checking in, at times like, okay, how am I contributing to this relationship? Like he does so much for me. And that is the kind of self-talk, kind of like questioning that I know was blocking me from this kind of experience all along. Because like, yes, I was on this incredible adventure with this crazy wild man who was awesome, but he was never as intentional with his love, and he never made me feel so seen and so safe and so cherished as I feel now, because I was never in a place where it was like, I am worthy of receiving this love that blows my mind. I was never allowing myself to be a match for it in that way. So yeah, that's my story. Just huge, crazy, going off in a lot of different directions. But yeah,
I
anything
love
is possible.
I love your story. And for those of you in human design, like total three line life, yeah. It's like we don't even know who we are and what we're supposed to do till we're almost 30. Like, so if you're not into human design, anybody who's a six line lives 30 years in there as a three line. Me, I can't tell you the different kinds of partners I had, career, everything. I went do, 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 and I'm a Manny Gen. But you know what? If you're a manager and you have a three line, you're meant to jump even more. And it's like bounce, 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 bounce. But it's just another example of like, first of all, not everybody knows what they want to do. Not everybody can follow the path that's already been paved. A lot of us are here to be trailblazers, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Like all of us who are entrepreneurs, like the biggest thing that we're seeking is freedom. And I will tell you, and I'm on a manifestation level, you got to stop tapping into feeling free right now, like being so freaking grateful. Because I often see like, because the beginning of the business, you got that wet chicken energy, you're excited, you can do all the things, and that's why the magic comes. But then there's hard things that happen in entrepreneurship because it's up and down on the way up. And then I hear a lot of entrepreneurs when they're having low money months or something's hard. Now it's like they're not even grateful for the fact that they got to wake up at the time they wanted to wake up. They got to do what they still wanted to do. And we start losing sight of the actual freedom we have. And for anybody who wants to be free and you want to be a completely free, a nomad or an entrepreneur living life on your terms, because this is also about like really creating your own path here, you got to start tapping into like the gratitude that you're so freaking free. Like, I get to do this. I get to do this. And you know how to make the right decisions too. It's just like, think about how constricted you feel when it's like a should, right? And 70% of the population, we can't should yourself. You're a generator, manager, but all of us, like, do you feel the constriction? You're like, you should do this. You should go to school. You should get married at this time. You should have a baby. But if you feel constriction, it's like, that's not what you're meant to do. But then if you think about, we have an aura, like anytime I'm like, I get to do this, I have this idea, oh my God, I'm going to launch this thing, I'm going to create this thing. It's like my whole energy field grows and then you start feeling it. And then the universe starts responding because it's like, not should, it's like, I get to, this excites me. That energy is so important. And Mike Lembo is someone that just really constantly just followed her soul. It was like an aha, yes, let's go. Let's see what this is. And like for those of you that's a six line, three line, you have kids, they're going to jump around a lot. And this just goes to show you it's okay. They're going to be okay. I think the hardest part why, and I had parts of like a lot of anxiety and depression. I remember too, because I went to university to get a psych degree. Then I changed my mind and then I went to business. And then I became a personal trainer. And then I became into an MLM, USANA. And then I just kept jumping around. And even with relationship would change and like even jobs I had in high school that I actually thought there was something wrong with me. That like, oh my God, I don't know what I want to do. Every time I'm like, okay, and then I don't like it anymore. There's something wrong with me. And then it's like, oh, I'm a manager and I'm a six line, three line. I'm meant to jump. And like a lot of people are built this way where you got to just go and dabble and you got to jump around. And if there's anybody that's really young in here, like Mike Lemley, here's your expander of like, you don't got to do what mommy and daddy want you to do. You don't have to follow society's status quo because anything that's making you feel constricted is going to create depression, anxiety. And we forgot to trust that our wisdom comes from our body, not our mind. The mind is a computer, guys. And even for those of you who like have logic, a lot of logic, you're left brained. At the end of the day, this is a programming. This is not what your soul is. Your soul is in your body, your energy, your alignment. Like the splenic hits, like that's what you're meant to follow. And it doesn't make sense, but it's not supposed to make sense. It's just like you gotta be like the crazy person in the room. You gotta trailblaze. You gotta go and dabble. And if you're a three line or a 6 line in human design, like we're built in the fire, and you gotta accept that. It's not going to be, no one's going to give you a formula and you're just going to go 1, 2, 3 and it's going to work. It's going to be like, all right, I threw a bomb and then there was a fire and then that just fucked up and then I got to go this way and then I pivot and I pivot. But if you pivot every time you fail, oh my gosh, you're going to get exactly where you want to go. And this is why we hear those cliche things, fall forward, and fall fast. So as soon as you try something and it fails, what worked, what didn't work, let me go again. What am I feeling called to? Let me just go live my life and wait to respond to something that lights me up. And you go and do it and you chase it. And everything in hindsight will make sense, but it can't make sense right now. And you got to be willing to fall on your face, but get up fast. We waste so much time. A lot of you asked me too after the masterclass, like, how do you do it all? And how do you want launching this? Where do you get the ideas? Because I move. The last thing I do is sit in doubt, fear. Oh, will people like this? I don't care if people like this. I like this. I had a breakthrough. And I believe if I've had a breakthrough and I like it, there's got to be one other person that's like me. And there always is. There's always an energetic match. We have a tribe. The goal is not to be liked by everybody. It's just being yourself, following those like, the hell yes, and you go do it, and your people are going to be a match for that. But like the whole like I gotta do what mom dad is, things that make me like, ugh, this is why a lot of people are in careers and they're like, I wonder why you're making a lot of money because you hate what you do. That's not the way. We're supposed to grow and be okay with failure. Like you're gonna figure it out. It's not supposed to be like a straight line, especially if you're a man-gen or a 3 line. We're gonna bounce around. And it's fun. It's adventure. You got to look at adventure. I'm like, okay, and just go and trust yourself. And like Michael Emma is one of those people, like follow her because she just has an idea and she goes and she has an adventure. The last thing we want to do at the end of our life is like not have memories, not have stories. You have so many stories already. Could you imagine where your life will be now for 40 years from now? Like your grandkids gonna be like, tell me what else did you do? Like, my gosh, you know what I mean? And you're having fun and you're learning and you're growing. We often think that it's like the money milestones and the success that makes us lit up. But as soon as you hit it, don't you realize you want something else? Because ultimately, what you want is evolution. We want to grow, we want to evolve. I'm like, it's cool the money I've made in my business and in my life, but honestly, the things that I'm so proud of is holy crap, how much I've grown. And I know you feel the same way. The amount of growth I've had. You're looking at someone who was not confident. I will lose 30% in school to show up and speak because I'm like, I couldn't. I got so red in the face. I remember even having to like, when you have to read in front of the class, I couldn't even read. I get like dyslexia, start reading everything backwards and like mumbling it made me so nervous. Like I thought I was going to die. And then look where I am because you trust, you go and you keep going and you're compounding, right? We talked about compounding gratitude in day one. This is also compounding just action all the time. Keep working on it. If you feel like I'm just not good enough, then what is it? It's usually a skill thing. Go learn it, go invest in it. But wasting time doubting, oh my, what should I do? You're wasting your life. Like just go. And if you fail, you're gonna look, oh, what worked, what didn't work? Do I really want to do this? Well, let me try it out. No, I did not like that. Let's go. And then you pivot. The faster you move, the faster you fall, the faster you're gonna get to where you actually want to go. And so she had to go through a whole series of all over the place. I don't even know what's going on. Like that was like me. Like if you knew like from what I did, the careers, the jobs, the relationships, like falling on my face, the amount of failures I had, oh my gosh, but made me strong. It got me to finally doing my life's purpose because not all of us are born with that. There's some people who are like, I'm going to be a doctor, and then they are. And then there's a lot of us that are like, I don't know, but I like this, and then this, and now I this, and this. And it's just like, you'll get there. So, Michael, Emily, do you want to share how people connect with you? What do you got going on? Any last words? And then we'll bring Callie up.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you. What I'm most excited about right now is my podcast. It is called The Creative Freedom Plan. You can find it on YouTube. And I also have some paid containers. I have a program launching in January that's called the Courageously Bold Boot Camp. So
Love
it's
it.
all of those foundational practices and habits and like actually getting in the reps to access that state of confidence, because confidence isn't something that you can get just by thinking about it, just by wanting it, just by wishing. You got to do boots on the ground, baby, show up every day. And then all of a sudden you look back, a month later and it's like, holy cow, my confidence has skyrocketed. So I'm really excited about that program. I do have free consultations if you want to learn more about programs, or if you want to, get some sort of audit on your social media presence. I also have social marketing services for entrepreneurs. So a couple different things going on in my world. But yeah, you can connect with me on YouTube at the Creative Freedom Plan, on Instagram at Michael Emily Schuster, and Facebook at Michael Emily Schuster. Thank you, Alina. This has been
Thank you so much,
so
gorgeous.
incredible.
I
And you
love
guys,
you.
like, Alina has been such a huge expander for me. And I know like all of us here, but seriously, I would not be in the relationship that I'm in today. I wouldn't be going after my purpose with the confidence and the clarity that I am if I didn't have her example. So these expanders are just like, it's
They're
everything, right?
everything. I'm telling you.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
if you can't find an expander, then you're the one that has to trailblaze. That's what I have to say. Because at this point, a lot of people are doing mind-blowing things. People are popping like popcorn. But if you feel like I can't find someone that's doing it exactly the way I want to do it, then you're the one. And that's where you're like, all right, I'll be the one that's going to trailblaze this and do this damn thing. This is it. And that's going to be your mission. And you got to accept the mission, lock your faith, connect source, God, and let's go and let's move. Thank you so much, Michael Emily. I love you so much. Okay, so our next speaker is Kelly from our beauty squad. Hello, gorgeous.
I
She's been a
am
part of my world
so happy to be
as well.
here.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
so happy to be here and to be sharing this story. Alina, I just wanted to give it back to you. First of all, thank you for having us on here. You have literally saved me from depression. And I can't say that lightly enough. During some of the roughest times is when I came into your world. And I'm going to try not to cry. But I wanted to, start off by saying like I kind of had to write things down because it's a lot of information to go through, and I want to kind of do it in chronological order from where I was to where I am now. And thank you for your work. Um, but in 2013, I had a really bad situation happen to me, and I actually had a home invasion. I left Vancouver not knowing where I was going to go, what I was going to do, and I had a friend um, say he was moving to Toronto. And I was like, okay, well, let me drive you. I've never been to Toronto before. And that one moment, I thought my world was over. I thought my life was over. I felt very alone. I didn't feel comfortable sleeping in my own home. And I drove him to Toronto. And that decision changed the trajectory of my life forever. And I'm forever grateful. We're still close and friends to this day. But me moving to Toronto and getting out of the situation, sometimes you get stuck in your daily life and your circles that you're in, and if you don't break free of that, if you don't like literally pack up and move to another city, you'll live in that same town or that same city your whole life. And that changed me. I had a lot of healing to do. I had to deal with a lot of trauma. I was unlovable, untouchable for many years, 7 years to be exact. I moved to Toronto, and you know, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I had a clothing store here in Vancouver. Everything had to shut down. I didn't know what I was going to do. I hid under a blanket for years and years. I gained a whole bunch of weight. I was super unhealthy. And I hid. I was a victim. I gave up on life. And, starting to go through the work and actually look at myself in the mirror, it took about 7 years or more for me to come back to Vancouver to face my fears. And, that is when everything changed for me. I did a lot of really amazing things. We were in a network marketing company, did wonderful things while we were there, but I was speaking up on the stage, hiding my pain inside. And I felt so fake. I felt like I wasn't living my life authentically, and that was what really hit me. And then so in 2019 I came back here. Started opening up a salon with my mom. I was so grateful. My mom lived in Alberta for like since 2004. And I was so grateful to have her back in the same city. We just got all of our equipment, just got our business license, a bunch of women working with us. And then COVID hit a month later after I got my business license. So I was like, okay, what are we going to do now? We can't even have clients come in here. We just have all this equipment, 5 other women working with us. My mom does a hairdresser. Um, I do permanent makeup, but I'm also dealing with a severe spinal injury because I was also having problems with my health. I fainted in the shower. I fell and hit my head, broke my nose. I couldn't taste or smell food. My spine is literally crooked. I actually just canceled my surgery this week, and I'll tell you about that. But I didn't know what I was gonna do, right? Like when you're working on your dream and then all of a sudden your dream gets cut off and you're like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? I had other women, single moms working with us. I wanted to be able to send them clients as well. So I started working on a plan. How are we going to refer each other customers, but not be in the same place? And I actually brought out my original drawings from the very first day that I started working on the referral network because I think it's really important to visualize. And so this is my very first drawing of the Beauty Referral Network and how people are going to earn money and how people are going to refer each other customers. And, I really love doing um, vision boards and all of those kind of things as well. And, most of the things on my vision board that I did just recently are starting to come true. And, it's crazy how everything happened from closing the salon, and then our landlord evicted us like a month later. So we were, not only did our salon get shut down, but also we were out of our home. And that's when I started going to work. I was working at a party boat as an example, and then I got forced to be vaccinated or else I could not work. Then I found out it stopped my period and I was sterilized. So I've been dealing with that, fertility issues ever since. So I'm really looking forward to connecting and learning more from the lady that was just on the call. Sorry, I'm having a total blank right now. But I wanted to keep going. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but when I really took a deep dive, I was going through some serious depression and I started binging on Alina's work, and it just over and over and over. It's in my calendar to watch a video from her every single morning while I'm getting ready, and I did that for a year, and doing that changed my life. I stopped playing a victim. I got taken advantage of several times by different website providers, lost over $40,000. And, just one thing after the other, I'm like, am I ever going to break free from this? Like it was just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And then, after that, it was just like fighting for answers for my health. I got in a fight with my doctor. Nobody would help me. They just pushed me away from the fertility clinic, gave me no hope. Basically, my doctor called me and was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to get an egg donor or you're gonna have to adopt. And I was like, thanks. You're the one who told me to get vaccinated, like whatever. And everybody makes their own decision, right? I had to do it in order to work. So I'm not gonna get into all that. That's a whole nother conversation. But the point is because I've kept going and kept going, now I found somebody that has a natural cleanse, and I just cleansed my whole entire body, and I haven't felt this good in forever. I'm able to turn my neck 100%. I can lift my arms above my head. I literally canceled my spinal surgery after I just went for an MRI not even a month ago. So I'm so grateful for that. And as soon as I started feeling better and really taking a deep dive on how I'm going to get this business going, this is only 12 days ago. So now we have 2 apps launching in the Play Store. I have a meeting today with a Grammy producer. We're working on a whole business that is for lifestyle and entertainment and travel on top of the Beauty Referral Network. And everything's just completely shifted. In 2021, I finally decided to go back to Toronto to go get all my stuff because it was in storage since COVID, because I came here and never went back. I drove myself across the country over 6 times by myself to go to Toronto and back. Yeah. So the last time, it was 2 days before I left, I reconnected with now my soulmate, my love of my life. We've been friends for 21 years. I met him on my 21st birthday, and now I'm so grateful every day that I literally have the love of my life. And other than the fertility issues, we're working on having a family, so I'm really grateful for that as well. But like my whole life has completely shifted when I started doing the inner work, working with Alina's coaching and mentors. Like I get on to I don't think I've missed a masterclass ever, honestly. And I go back and rewatch them all the time as well. I think it's so important. But, like from even just last year of not even knowing how I'm going to get my website up and running to serve humanity. Like this is about how can people make money? Even a customer can make money referring their friends to their hairdresser. Like who comes up with this stuff? How, like, and I did that out of my own duress because of my spinal injury. I'm, being on disability and being a victim stuck in the system. I couldn't even afford my own treatments to heal my body. So when I designed this company, I designed it in a way that I wanted to start with the person that's struggling. How can we help that person that needs to pay for their groceries for their kids? How can we help that person that doesn't even know how they're going to pay their next bill? And that's what we've created here. And I'm so grateful every day. I've been up since 5 a.m. Like, I'm just like, let's go. Like, I have so much energy right now. I'm attracting like on a super speed. Like my good friend that I'm working with in the media company reached out to me out of the blue the other day and he's like, hey, I think I got something for your referral network. I got access to over 100 celebrities. Let's talk about adding, a whole media section to your company. And then the travel deal, I just signed a partnership with a travel company. Just 2 weeks ago, we opened a new company together for all of the media and entertainment to bring all the celebrities to all the hotels around the world, and then also hook up their travel with some private jets and their nannies and super yachts and everything. And I'm just like, whoa, like every single thing that I've literally put on my dream board is coming true in a matter of months because when my health changed, like just recently, when I started really focusing on how I can serve others, things just are coming at me. And my angel numbers have been following me ever since I opened our bank account in 2019. The last 3 digits of my bank account are 333. So I see them on a daily basis. Now everybody else is seeing them. And literally things are like you're talking about quantum leap, girl. I'm like on the moon. And I just wanted to say thank you and thank you for letting me share my story. This has been an incredible journey. And, I just want to encourage everybody to get out of your own way because as soon as I started focusing on other people, like I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm on my way there. And that's the most important thing. Don't focus on your struggle. Focus on what you can do to get out of the struggle. Focus on what you can do to get out of the victim mentality and focus on how you can collectively work together with other people that are on the same mission as you. And I think that to me, like the dude, I'm doing a call with a Grammy producer this afternoon. Like, what is going on? And it's because, first of all, I've been authentic. I've maintained my integrity. There's been times where I'm like, okay, well, everybody else just does OnlyFans. Maybe I should just do that and pay for my website. And then I was like, well, no, I have to maintain my integrity. I want to build this authentically and show people that it's possible for them too. And I'm so glad that I did not do anything to jeopardize the future of this business. And I just wanted to say thank you for letting me share my story. I don't know what else we're gonna create. My next plan is to create Alina coming to speak at one of our international conferences, like in Mexico, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh my gosh. I love you. The energy though in this group. And so you made me feel like, oh my gosh. So in prosperity laws, I was like, I want to teach a code about creating your own money from your own gifts, from your own, like, I have this idea because one of the laws in spirituality is really like, if you're not growing in what you're doing that makes you money, you'll actually stop the flow of money. So that's why it's not about being an entrepreneur. It's like even when you're working for somebody, if you're not making that company better and you're not growing yourself, you actually stop the flow, because it's actually in God's will. Like, you need to be using your gifts, you need to be growing. But this is where that passion comes from. This is how we create energy. I have times where I am a mad scientist up all night. Like, there's sheets everywhere, and there's post-its everywhere. And Adam will be attest to this. Like, I don't want to wake him up. He's a projector. He's a lot of sleep. But like, I've snuck out of bed because I wake up with an idea, and I sneak out of bed and go into our walk-in closet, and I'm in there. And he wakes up and he's like, "What are you doing?" And there's sheets everywhere, and I'm lit up, and it's like, I'm not tired because I'm doing the right thing that's in alignment with me, like, and with my soul, and following the passion. And so this is another story too. Like, there's so many miracles here, like, that we could just go on about, but there's going to be trial and error. In my self-empowered course that I did, in the last code that I did, and we go first, I talked a lot about, like, life is not supposed to always be easy. Like, yes, it gets to be easy, but we have trial and error a lot in our life. And actually setting up our kids to make them think that everything is going to be always easy is like, life is like this, okay? Just like every graph you see is like this. It's up and down on the way up. And you get tested the most in your fluctuations, but that's where you find your personal power. And I talk a lot about the difference between personal power and circumstantial power. Circumstantial power is like, everything's going well, right? The people are showing up, the clients are showing up, you wake up on the right side of the bed, you know what I mean? You're ovulating, like, everything's great, you slept good. But we want personal power. It's like, nothing's happening right now. Well, it doesn't seem like it. I'm having a hard day. I'm sick. My kids kept me up, but I still show up and do what I got to do. And when you're the type of person that still does what you got to do, and you cultivate your personal power, like, that's when the universe, everything just starts coming to you. But when you quit because it doesn't look like it's working, then that's where you break the compound effect. And a lot of entrepreneurs get tested with this. And it's interesting too, because one of the questions that somebody was asking me after the masterclass was like, well, how do I believe that things are going to be possible for me when, like, right now, like, the predictable world is really hard for me? Like, how do I believe in magic? We're not meant to always believe in magic either. Like, this is why I always say to women too, like, track your periods, because you're the most self-deprecating and you're not, like, magical in those moments. And that's the time where you don't want to be thinking about your dreams. You just take care of your human. We're human guys first, okay? Like, we're living a human experience. What I believe is, like, our soul came in, but it wanted the human experience, which is feelings. It's, you got to have sadness, you got to have some rage, you got to have some anger. That's what part of life is. And so the more you're okay with those feelings and just taking care of yourself, and then get back up and do it again, it's going to work. And this is the thing too, I believe in compounding action, like, just taking constant action. So when you're like, well, how do I explain that? Like, how do you know it's working? We don't know it's working, but you're growing. And so my mentor was saying this the other day on a call about, it's like an example of, like, a little kid who's asking you as a parent, like, I want to be tall, I'm the shortest in my class. Like, how, like, when am I going to grow? You're growing, I'm not, I'm still short, but you're growing, but I'm not tall yet, but you're growing. And this is the same thing with entrepreneurship and your manifestations. If you're doing the work, you're connected to God, you take care of your emotions on your human day, and you believe that things are growing. It's like, okay, Michael Emily worked on a farm, right? Her family's from a farm. Like, they have to believe that beneath the crop, like, there's crops growing, okay, beneath the surface, but they have to water the crops every day. They got to tend to it, even when there's no evidence. That's entrepreneurship. That's your dreams. You don't have evidence, but it's growing beneath the surface. There are things growing. You're a little kid that keeps saying to you, but I'm not tall yet, it's not working. It's working. You're growing. You just can't see it yet, but you are growing. And if you don't unplug and you do what you got to do, and you show up in the best energy, and you take care of your human in the bad energy, like when you're not feeling good, it's everything compounds. Everything compounds. Every frequency that you compound works. The actions, the gratitude, the appreciation. And on the days that you don't feel good, you take care of yourself. And this round of Goddess Code, and I've always talked about this, like, ladies, please track your periods, because when you are self-deprecating, it's when your period is coming. If you ever get the app Flow, it will message you 5 days before, about to enter self-deprecation phase. And so when you know that's coming, and you're having all these, like, oh, nothing's working and I'm not enough, and you start comparing yourself, that's why. It's not you, it's the human. That's when you just don't really focus on your dreams, and you just take care of your human, and you take a goddess bath, and you cry, and then you're back on it. The time that we manifest the most is when you're ovulating. So another thing I'm going to recommend to all of you is to get your periods. Put in your calendar when you ovulate. That is like you are in your compounding magnetism, like you're about to manifest crazy things because you feel magical. You're glowing. When I'm about to get my period, which is like in the next 2 days, I'm like, why? Always on my photo shoot days. I'm already looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, look at my nose. It's so big. Why do I look like this? I have this pimple here. And I'm like, oh my God, stop yourself. Like, I have to walk away. I don't like to look at myself in the mirror because literally your hormones change the way you even see yourself. And then you say a whole bunch of crazy things to yourself, and then you start compounding things, and this is what happens. So it's just like track, and then also know sometimes you feel off. We also pick up people's energy, but it has nothing to do with you. Take care of your human, but then when you're ovulating and you're having a good day, then you compound the gratitude. Then you're like, oh my God, what else is possible? Imagine if this, imagine if that, and you plant those seeds. But the days you're not feeling good, you be a human. We're supposed to be a human. It's like you take one step in gratitude, you're always grounded, and then on the good days you're taking like a step into desire, and otherwise you're working two worlds. That's how I see it. We're constantly dabbling in two worlds. It's like we're here, got to be grateful here, planted, grounded, but then also we got to move. We got to take one step towards our desires every single day, and then you do the best that you can, and then you believe God's going to provide. God cuts my paycheck. I'm not thinking about people paying me. I'm like, God, I'm doing God's work. I'm doing sources work. I'm doing amazing things on the planet. And that's another big spiritual law too, is like, are you doing anything that actually like is serving in a way, even in your career, or you're making that company better? Because I will tell you, the people who continue to never get promotions, they don't make, because people can make money. Like I've seen people quantum leap their own salary in positions that it was never possible, but because they're like, I care about this mission and I'm going to be the most amazing employee. And then they make the company grow and then they get this crazy promotion. But if you're the kind of person that everything you do is like, I hate this job, you come in, you're the one that calls in sick all the time, you do the half-ass things, that's why prosperity doesn't come in your life. That's why abundance doesn't come in your life. So whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working in a job, you need to be so grateful for that thing, and you need to be growing it. You need to be growing yourself, or otherwise prosperity stops. Because you hate what you do, you're not grateful for it. And that's why we lose predictable things in our life. Because we take it for granted. We don't look at it. Remember what I said in day one? Some of you missed it, but I said, usually the only times we're grateful is on the back end of after realizing we almost lost something, like the partner. You stop being grateful that your partner's coming home. You stop because you get annoyed with them. That partner's going to go find somebody else that sees them. That's how it works. That's why the partner cheats. That's why the partner leaves. You not grateful for your health. You're not even thinking about it at all. You're not taking care of yourself. You get really sick. What are you doing? You're praying now. Now my health is on my manifestation board. But where was the gratitude before? Oh yeah, because when things are good, we tend not to look at it. So it does take conscious presence to like really love the things you have, even predictable money, like to be so grateful, like not just to be excited about the like, whoa, magic money just came in, a new client. It's like even that $55, $10, like I still have payment plans from years before. And I'm so grateful. I'm like, yes. And then like someone's honoring their word. And I'm so grateful. Everything compound, compound, compound. Your predictable paychecks, you've got to be so happy. You will never bridge into more without being solid and grateful for what you have here. And you know this, and everything's a relationship. Your relationship with your family, your kids, if you're not grateful for them, you do not see them. That's why we lose things. And that's why sometimes I really do believe, not sometimes I believe this. That's why I feel like we end up losing things, that we take things for granted. That's what that happens. The relationship falls apart. The clients that you're like, oh, they're not the ones that pay me a lot, so I'm not going to really care about them. Or the people that are coming from Masterclass, they've never bought, so I'm just going to be rude to them. Like that is where you block yourself. You need to love and respect everybody, be so grateful for everybody. The people that show up for free, the people that share your stuff. The more you're grateful, the more you're compounding. And the more people appreciate you. How many of you guys, when you started, people were rude to you? They didn't see your magic. You know what I mean? They didn't see the thing you were going to become. Do you know how many people were really rude to me when I started? Or like, you're a little chicken nugget, they treated me horribly. Do you think I'd ever go hire them or like want to work with them or invest in their stuff? No. This is what I mean about like respect everybody. Everybody, love them for being there. Everybody's part of this piece for you wherever you're going. But when you just, it's not whatever, they didn't buy anything, you just don't care about people. That's another thing I want to talk to you guys about in prosperity laws, like literally like believing in people, even if they're a little chicken nugget right now, that they're about to become what you became. Remember your phase when you started. So remember the people that come to you and they look like they don't have money or they don't look like they got it. They're in their becoming. So you better love them because one day they're going to be exactly where you are or even bigger. And then they're going to remember how you treated them. That's just how it goes. And this is the law of karma as well. I just wanted to see comments. I had this aha moment. I thought I was grateful, but I wasn't. Conscious present. Yes, absolutely. Like so freaking grateful. Beautiful Callie. Did you want to share anything like ways that people can find you, what you're up to, how to connect with you? Anything, final
Absolutely.
words?
First of all, I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for having me on. Second of all, I just want to give a word of advice. Create a goal, create a checklist. It doesn't even have to be anything big, something new that you can shift every single day in your life. When I started doing that and I got out of my own way because I was a victim because of my spinal injury and then my fertility issues and everything else, when I started focusing on what I could just achieve that day, small things, that's when things started to shift. And now, like, I see the angel numbers on a daily, like literally coming at me. Like, I say, thank you, universe. I'm so grateful. Even when I'm driving and I see a license plate, I'm like, thank you, universe. Thank you for showing me the signs that I'm on the right path. I did not know how I was going to get here, but I'm so grateful. I'm grateful every day. I say, thank you, universe, for blessing me with these angel numbers. Thank you, universe. I'm a money magnet. I'm a people magnet. And now all these things are just coming at me like crazy. So if you're, would like to follow my journey, our group is, both of our apps are launching in the Apple Store and the Play Store in a matter of weeks. So you'll be able to find it on there, our Beauty Referral Network and our Lifestyle Referral Network. But we have a Facebook group right now where I do all of my updates, which is our Beauty and Lifestyle Referral Network on Facebook. And we have, on Instagram, our Beauty Referral Network and our Lifestyle Referral Network as well. And I just wanted to say, I'm really looking forward to this next prosperity class with you. I'm looking forward to working with you one-on-one. And I'm also looking forward to having you come speak on our stages around the world one day. And that is my goal, my next goal for myself, because, if we didn't set goals and targets, we would not achieve anything in life. So I'm already going to put that out to the universe. I'll see you in Mexico, Alina.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Yes. Oh my gosh. I know I have like dreams of like retreats, all the things. And I see you guys there. Like I'll be even hopping on the lives. Like I know you. If I don't always comment back, I see you. Trust me. I see you guys. I love you. I'm blessing you. Every time people even sign up for things, like whether it's a free thing or a paid thing, I'm like, bless this person's life. Like I talk to you. And I told you guys yesterday, I come on these calls and I thank you for sending me these souls. I promise to do my best and give them back to you better than you lent them to me. And I let whatever needs to come through, like connect with something. For those of you who are in day one, I talked a lot about this. Some of you might have a missing piece where you are mad at the universe or you're mad at God and reclaiming that relationship and working on that relationship. Especially for those of you who hustle and you feel like you got to do everything on yourself, you deep down don't believe you're supported. Create a devotion. It gets to be different. This is why there is no one size fits all. This is why I don't put labels too much on things. I don't even try to use it in my marketing, but I'm trying to get a point across. But otherwise, like you got to believe something is like supporting you, the ideas, and move fast. Like that's another big thing is like money loves speed. That idea. And so even for those of you like, I don't have money, but then you have an idea to create something, go. That's your thing. You got to create it. There's a lot of people who are in debt. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people get so like boggled by like $10,000 for private coaching. I'm like, yeah, but what would it cost for you to start a restaurant or a store? You're $1 million in debt. You got to buy the property, the equipment, you got to source the food. But like, oh, an online business or coaching doesn't a lot. But like, for those of you who've been in my world, like, I'm not going to just teach you money. I'm going to teach you out of like the greatest quality of life, your relationship with yourself, with your family. Like we get to have it all and love every piece of it. But it's like, you got to trust your soul and you got to move on things and stop wasting time. You want to collapse time? Stop sitting in fear. Stop thinking about, will my mom like it? Will my dad like it? Stop procrastinating. Stop looking for inspiration. Enough of that. Like, let's go. Let's move. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling. I'm either creating or I'm responding to you guys, but there is no consumption at all. Once in a while, Adam sends me a funny reel and that's it, but I'll laugh about it. But then I'm like, I don't do that. Set a timer if you know yourself, right? So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. I'm so grateful for you guys. I hope that you guys were expanded in some capacity. But at the end of the day, like with all of our stories, there's trial and error. Things do not make sense, but things don't make sense in the world. Like that's why I love magical stories and like miraculous things. It's like you just have this idea, you have this thing, and you just got to do it. And even for those of you who are like asking for healing, and then all of a sudden the coach shows up and it's like a pull, trust it, go with it. If you focus on solutions and you focus on winning, you're going to get there. But every time you focus on things don't work, I'm comparing myself to other people, like you continue to create. You go first was a huge impact for me. Yeah. And everything, look at it. It's 12 to 12, 1, 2, 2, 2. Trust. Those are my angel numbers too. Trust. Vanessa says, amazing. I love this. Melissa says, some of the best money I've ever moved. I'm so grateful. And Melissa was a private client with me. She's a 1-3. She'll tell you all her trial and error too. Rebecca, thank you, Alina, for these beautiful ladies sharing the stories. Yes, and I'm looking forward to a next masterclass and bringing more expanders. They were a big piece. I keep saying this, but it's like when you see people moving and doing the thing in a way that you want to do it, it's possible. Anything that you want, you get to do it on your own terms. And Tammy jumped off, but I will tell you something. I think she might have forgot to share a story too. Like she's a teacher and she's completely like moving out of that status quo path too to go full on and do this work. And I'm like, do it. This is like what lights you up. She and I had the same conversation that like the worst situation to be like, and I don't want to contemplate this, but like to be back in the matrix. Like I'm like having conversations about gossip and all that stuff because she went back to work and she's like, I'm in the staff room and people are like talking about blah, 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 just like talking to talk about celebrities and all the lies that are on TV. And it's like, that's where we're wasting our time. The people you surround yourself with, I'm going to say this again, what you plug into every single day, if 51% of it is not higher vibrational thoughts, things that expand you, things that make you feel grateful, that turn you on, you're calibrating down. People rewire our subconscious mind all the time. So this is why it's so important to plug in. This is why when I started my journey, I didn't have the means to just go all in and start paying for coaching. I wasn't that bold to go and put myself in more debt, but I listened to Tony Robbins every single day. Every single day. I just found motivational YouTube videos, especially on my hardest days. On your hardest days, plug into my YouTube videos. I guarantee they're going to light you up. Find people who activate you. That's another big piece that light you up. Who are the people when you listen to them, you're like, oh my God, anything's possible. Those people, follow them. Abraham Hicks, you know what I mean? If it's me, that's why I create free stuff. For those of you that aren't ready to move with me, jump into that stuff, re-listen to it on a bad day, plug in. But you got to be thinking and contemplating like higher vibrational stuff. Otherwise, you calibrate down. You'll calibrate to the collective. And it's hard because we're surrounded by family members who are also in their lack and their fear. And you got to navigate that, but they love you. And a lot of people who love you are worried about you. And that's going to be, you just got to let them be, but don't take on their limitations because people project on us so, so much. Thank you, ladies. So many trials, but so grateful. Stories. Guys, if we didn't have obstacles, what stories would we have? None of us would be here talking to you if we didn't have an obstacle. But the obstacles aren't a sign. This is the worst thing I hear people say. Well, I asked for this thing and all of a sudden this horrible thing happened of the opposite. I'm like, yeah, you got to move that because that's your story now because no one's going to listen to you when you say, I had this idea and then it was perfect and I was a multimillionaire and everything's just been amazing. Who's hiring that person? Who's buying that book? Nobody. Every story, every person you love had hardships. And usually we get tested as soon as we ask for something big. But the obstacle isn't a sign, oh, look, there's a boulder on the road. God must not want this for me because it just showed up for me. No, universe is saying, based on your past, you've been this way. And now you're asking for this big thing. So I'm going to just trial and error you here with this thing. But that boulder on the road isn't a stop. It's not a sign that it's not for you. It's like, move it. Go defy the odds. Go then tell the story of how you did it. Because everyone that you love, everyone you tap into have stories. It was not easy. and they had to have an identity shift. Like yesterday, Adam put on the TV while we were cooking, like Carrie was the one that was on the, my God, she's the country singer, Carrie Underwood, right? I remember watching with my dad. What was that thing that she got on? Like she was singing, it was a singing competition. But I know you guys know her story, right? So she was on a singing competition. She was this like, like she wasn't big or anything, but she wasn't this like fit girl now. But anyways, her identity has shifted like massively. You want to talk about metamorphosis? This is the kind of thing I want to do with you guys in January. It's like her identity at the shift. She was this little country girl from the farm, quiet, right? And then all of a sudden she shifted into like, whoa, look at this woman. She's fit as heck. Have you seen her legs? Like that's an identity shift. That's what I want to do with you guys in metamorphosis. I want to help you get out of your mind. Taylor too. Yeah. Like I love, like people hate on, Taylor Swift, but I'm like, that woman's a business woman. Like, holy crap. And for those of you who love my analogy of the like, talking about the wet chicken energy and getting lit up, like, do you think Taylor Swift is like masterminding strategies and how to get the people? No, her strategies are strategy. I'm so lit up. What do I create? What kind of music do I create that makes people just lose it? She's thinking about how to get people fired up. She's getting herself fired up. That's all that matters. And guess what happened? Ticketmaster blows up. It literally gets shot down. She's not thinking strategies to get people and, and the how. It's like, oh my God, I'm lit up by this song. How do I create music that makes people lose their crap? Like that's the energy. And that's for all of you, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs. Like you got to tap into that energy of like, what lights me up? What was my breakthrough? And then you share it in that energy and then people respond to you. But it's not the how. It's not about what you say, and it's not about how you're doing it. It's all about the intention. It's all about the energy. It's all about the energy. Like that's what connects people with you always. Love Carrie. Love being surrounded with expanders. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah. So I'm going to do a draw, and then later you guys are going to see me go live, and probably like an hour from now, I'm going to talk about prosperity laws if you are interested in that. If you're not in the We Go First membership, that's going to be part of it. So like if you want to get it at $111, We Go for membership's incredible. I mean, like you can pause, cancel. There's extraordinary courses that I've created in there. But otherwise, like for the next 48 hours, so on December 15th, I'm raising it to 22, then it's going to go to 333, it's going to go up to 888, and then depending how many I add, because I already have 7 codes. These are like energetic codes, like around the codes and the embodiment about influence. How do I become super influential? It's the energetic codes around how do I tap into possibility? It's the energetic codes around wealth. And there's codes where like making money from nothing, then also a code around amplifying money, then also like how to attract people in their power, all these kinds of different concepts. And they're abundant codes, even codes around happiness, love, right? So that's going to be. And so it's going to be $111, and then it's going to go up. So jump in, because it's one of those ones that I did with like Crack Your Money codes where it's like, it's ongoing. And every time I channel, I have another breakthrough. I'm going to come in there and you get locked in at $111. If you're in the We Go First membership, you already get that. So I'm going to talk about that. And then we have Metamorphosis coming in January. I haven't solidified a date, thinking second week of January. I like everybody to have vacation. My New Year's always starts like the middle of January. I enjoy my Christmas holidays with my family. I'm not about the status quo. January 1st. Now I'm going to be a different person. Like no, that's not the vibe, first of all. And if that's your vibe, I'm telling you, that's an old identity if you're constantly changing yourself on January 1st. We want to start whenever, but we start now. And that program, when I launch it, it's going to be half off, and then it's going to go up. And it's going to be literally the codes to having an identity shift. Like we're talking personal power, emotional intelligence, leadership like you've never heard it before. And there's going to be mastermind components. So also, for those of you who are live, do you have any questions at all around the context? Do you have any questions for the 2 ladies that are still here? Anything that you want to talk about, go ahead. I'm going to do the draw. And you guys, if Emily, Michael, Emily, if you guys get questions, you guys can answer. October starts my new year now. Amazing. And everything does start now. Like it's, you got to do it now, right? There is no later. It's now. It's now. So I'm going to do the draw. And then if you guys have questions for the ladies that are here, or if you have questions for me about anything, go. I will rift. I'm here to respond. But I'm going to do the draw. And then I'll see if anything pops up. And then you guys will see me live in a little bit because I'll go on my personal page. So I'm gonna draw one more person for 1 year free membership, and then we go first. Put the vibes in, and I'm gonna do lots of these. So if you don't win this time, there'll be more. Bay! Oh my gosh. So the second winner is Bay Vance. Oh my gosh. She just graduated from being a therapist too. She's been in my world, so I'm so excited. So congratulations. We'll have to tag her. You got a whole Fear membership with me, and we go first. So the next three people I'm gonna choose, you guys get 80% off towards the only thing you can't use it towards is the memberships because everything's already discounted there, right? Like if you're an inner circle, you're gonna get every program's half off, or like 60% off, and then we go first, like you're paying $111. But you can use it towards things like you can use it towards like any codes like the prosperity laws or any of my programs. So identity work, all that stuff, okay? We have Ava Markowick. This has got to be a Polish name too. Oh, I just dropped it. So congratulations, you won 80% off, gorgeous. All right, who's our next person? Cynthia Asper, congratulations. I will tag the beautiful souls. Anything's possible. For those of you who are winning this stuff, that's a miracle right there. Anchor that in. Anchor that in. Anything is possible. And the last person we have, oh, Betty. Betty Champagne. I think that's how I say it. I'm the worst at names. I'm so sorry that but nobody can say my real last name anyway, so we're here. So Betty, congratulations. Thank you so much for everybody here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tagging. Thank you, Michael, Emily. Thank you, Callie, for sharing your stories. Hope you guys connect with them. They're incredible. Congratulations. Yay. Oh my gosh. And Daria, you're here. So I tried to tag you in the comments, but you were the first winner for sharing before. You get a whole, and I'm going to message you. Yeah. So we get to spend a whole year together and then we go first membership. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or anything that you want to add? Congratulations. Yes, Tager. That's awesome. So just some details too. So Prosperity Laws is going to start December 19th, and there's going to be 2 codes back to back. So one on December 19th, then one on December 20th. They're going to be like these 2-hour riffs, really potent. And then I'm going to have another one in January. No, I'm not joking. You won. Woo, there you go. And then there'll be another one in February, and there's other things coming. I actually also have a mastermind too. For those of you who are in my Coach Academy mastermind, you can reach out too, because I'm going to be launching a mastermind for Coach Academy, and everybody who signs up will automatically be part of that. And I'll be launching that. What? I'm gonna faint. You're so funny. Yes, congratulations. Miracles happen. Magic happens. I will do more tuition draws, but I just want you all to know, for those of you who are here, for those of you that share my work, I am so grateful for you. Like, I love you so much. Anytime I see you guys share, you write a testimonial about my work, you even buy for me anything, like I send you so much love and abundance. Like, I hope your life is blessed, and I hope that you continue. Thank you. You're so funny. I love you. Hello, Angela. And I send you so much gratitude. Like, I love you so much. I believe in this work so much. I seriously, like, my biggest dream is like one day these conversations that we have, like, this is what we teach the kids. We teach the kids the power of their mind. We teach their kids the frequency work, like I have this client too, and she's like the director of all these schools in a country. I don't want to give it away and can't allowed to talk about it, but when we first started working together, she was saying how, like, she's like, like, I'm trying to change and bring in this kind of work that we talk about into school systems, right? And I was like, man, you should talk about how they do it in Japan. She's like, I literally booked a whole thing with a conference to go to Japan, because in Japan the schools are different. Like, they don't test kids until they're like in university or maybe high school, but the kids don't get tested. It's all about teaching compassion. They have to like clean the school and help I think they don't even have the janitors, but they have them cleaning. They do like physical, like fitness work. They do mindset work, and like they're the smartest people on the planet. Like, it's crazy. And why? Because they don't stress little kids out so much that if you don't get an A in math, you're doomed forever. I don't know if some of you know my story, but like I struggled in school too. I'm an open head, open mind. I'm an immigrant. I had all these things happen that I actually thought I was like dumb for a long time. And school was really stressful. Now I'm so happy I know my human design, but it's like I wasn't meant for that world. Like I was meant to think differently. Like I'm like beyond my time kind of mindset, right? But like this is what we do to humans. You know how many humans are geniuses and they have ideas that could change the world, but because in school someone told them that they didn't get a good grade, that they were not worthy enough. And there's a lot of people walking around like that. Exactly. And so in Japan, they don't give kids tests. They do different kinds of way to measure their intelligence, but it's not about the grade because we all know, especially entrepreneurs, like entrepreneurs' minds work very, very different. Like we are the trailblazers. We are the ones that have like we move on things and ideas. We're the artists, the athletes. Like we're not meant to just sit there in a class all day getting good grades. It has nothing to do with what's possible for you. Melissa says not feeling smart enough is challenging for me still. Yeah, and there's a lot of subconscious beliefs, but you are so wise because you've overcame so much. And like, I'm an example of like, oh my God, we can do anything. So some of you might have to have like some forgiveness work with the school system because they've definitely made us feel like we're not good enough. And if you're a parent, work with your kids on this, right? I have one kid that is struggling and like there's some like there's struggles, but I'm like, but you're a genius. And I looked at her human design. I'm like, you're wise. You're gonna do some trial and error, but you are so wise. She's very similar to mine, but she can't focus in school that well and she just doesn't get things, but she's wise. And we took her and we did an evaluation and she scored so high on IQ and EQ, like, and social intelligence. She's the leader of her like whole class, but the grades aren't there. But what does that matter? You think I'm going to think my kid's not going to be like super genius? Of course I think she is. Like, and I work on her confidence to not get stuck just because of a grade, that is what is going to determine her success, but her wisdom, her emotional intelligence. Let's be real. Like you want to be limitlessly wealthy, then you got to nail like relationships and social skills and EQ over how good your grades were and credentials. And we know that now more and more. People don't really care about your education. They're just like, show me that you can do it. You want to teach me multi-millions? Show me your bank account. You want to teach me how to have abs? Show me the abs. People don't care about the degrees anymore and the numbers. It's like be the embodiment, be the person that's actually doing it, and then show other people that they can do it too. But we're meant to be genius. Ah, thank you. That's my life. She's becoming so confident. Yeah. I just told her, I'm like, you are wise. And she tells me all the time. She's just like, everybody comes to ask me because she's got the 4-6 in her. I'm like, yeah, I know, because people can feel you have wisdom and that makes you genius. Look at mommy. Mommy doesn't do anything. I'm sure most of your friends' parents do. I like, they see what I do and they're like, whoa, they don't really get it yet. But it's like, you could do this one day if you wanted, or you might be an entrepreneur and they're into art and stuff like that too. I was really big into art. That was like the only thing I felt was good at was painting and sketching. And now I feel like I'm a business artist, really. Like, it's like, I can't explain what I do. It's not tactics, it's art. We're business artists too. It's like Taylor Swift. She's a business artist. Thank you so much. You were meant to lighthouse. Yeah. I actually think a lot of people who struggled with schools because deep down your soul was like, no, this is the matrix. This is the system. I can't put this in my mind. I can't memorize this. I need to think of like the quantum and the wisdom and the connection to God. Like I literally believe in that. I think that's why my mind was like kind of math, like, or geography or history. I couldn't pay attention to things I hated, but it was like psychology, like business. That was my jam. So I don't see any questions. Let's see. I'm going to call my sister. Oh, you're so funny. All the love. I love you so much, guys. I love you, love you, love you. So go back and re-listen. I'm still hoping that day one will come back. But the biggest thing about day one that I talked about is you got to compound the frequency of gratitude, but you got to feel it. Not like you're writing it in your journal, like you feel it deeply. Today, that partner you have, your husband, your wife, that is chewing really loudly, I want you to take a look at them today and be like, even though you're chewing so loudly, it's kind of annoying. I freaking love you. Because if I think about you not being in my life, I would be actually really sad. So I love you. Okay. Like that. This is the appreciation we need to have for the people in our life too. Like that, even when they annoy you, just imagine if they weren't there. Those clients with the little payments that you are like, oh, but it's not that exciting. Imagine if they weren't there. Imagine all the predictable payments were gone. We lose things, and it's a test from God of the universe showing you you've not been appreciating this. And so we're going to take it away for a second so you remember to tap into that. And again, the importance is like, if you're not feeling abundant, how are you going to tap into anything else? You cannot. And like with the biggest thing I want to say before I hop off too is your focus. Like the law of focus, you got to focus on what you want. You got to play to win and stop focusing on things not working. And what if it, like, why would you use that? If we think about the quantum field, which is potential for anything could happen, why do you want to touch the things that would be the worst things that could happen to you? Do you want to know why you manifest the worst case scenarios? Because you embody them and you entangle with them the most. So even if this is like how you get tested with faith. Even if something shows up, the opposite of what you just asked, it's like, do you still believe? Yeah, I still believe, because a miracle could happen and a miracle could happen. And this is just a test, and it's happening for me, and it's going to shape me, and I'm going to keep going and focus on the winning all the time. Just catch yourself, become more conscious. This is why this works so powerful, because it makes you think about what you're thinking, because most of the time you drive places and you have no idea how you got there. And I wonder what you were thinking. Oh, maybe worst case scenarios. That's why those things manifest. That's why fear manifests and stress manifests so much. Plus, it does horrible things on your body. But what if it works? What if it works? What if it's like better than I could even dream? And if something shows up you don't like, say this or something better, this or something better. But you got to focus on winning. Like that's the goal. Like focus on things working. What if it works? Imagine if. And if you're having a bad day, you just take care of yourself. Cracking up because my boyfriend gets annoyed by loud chewing, but he always like, I still love you. See, you gotta love people. Thank you, Alina. I needed this. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you guys showed up. What an incredible. I love you guys so much. There's so many magical things coming. I'm so excited. There'll be another masterclass coming in January too. But if you're feeling the polar prosperity laws, it's $111. Do it. You will be so freaking grateful, because the things and the value that I'm going to bring to there is going to like warp your whole life. It's going to give you mind-blowing mind orgasms. That's my goal of that. But it's not just strategies, like the frequencies of things. And it's going to be extraordinary, and it's lifetime access. And we'll do Q&A there. I really want to add more Q&As and masterminds, because honestly, like I want to help you get clear on anything that you feel like you're stuck in. Emily says 100%, I'm going to schedule magic miracles. Ovulation. You know what I was laughing about? So in Goddess Code, we're talking about that. You know why women sync up? This is an interesting fact. The reason we sync up is because you tend to have sisterhood wounds with your friends when you're ovulating and she's going through a period, because this is what happens when you're on the opposite side of your periods, okay? You're feeling like self-deprecating, you hate yourself, horrible. You look at yourself and you feel like you look like a gremlin. And then your friend comes in ovulating and she's like, oh my God, I had the best day. And she's glowing and you're like, but I had this bad day. She's like, you're fine. But like, did you hear? And she's manifesting like crazy. And then you get annoyed at your friend. And then the sisterhood wounds come up. This is because you're not in sync. And then it goes the other way. And then all of a sudden you are like, I feel like magic. Everything's amazing. You're glowing. And then your friend's like, I hate you. This is why actually women need to sync up. That's why when we're in close proximity, we sync up. Because when we're on the polar opposites, we actually start to like not like each other, because it's like, screw you, I feel like this, and you're all magical over there. This is crap. What is this? And then it switches. This is why in your household, like me and Stella, like, and I'm going to have two other daughters, we're all going to be on our period one day. We better be in alignment, okay? We better be ovulating at the same time and in self-deprecation mode for a little while, because otherwise it's annoying to see people like, oh, everything's good and I'm shiny and I feel lean and I'm not bloated. And then you're like, this is what happens. So track your periods. And know that sometimes when you're annoyed with your friend because she's magical, she's probably ovulating right now, and you just got to go through your little phase. But put this in your calendar. It will change how you manifest. You're a different human when you are ovulating. It's kind of wild. I'm jumping out for joy. You're so funny. Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything to say, ladies? Thank you so much for hopping on and sharing your story. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next masterclass if you're complete, but binge these and binge day 2. There's so many codes in there. There's so many codes, and anything's possible. You got to believe in magic and miracles. Like, go on YouTube, look up Google, people who defied the odds, listen to them, plug into them. especially on your hard days. One of my favorite things is to just tap into people, activate you, and find people who activate you. If I make you feel and you feel like you want to do something, stay connected to my work. If anybody that you listened to today made you feel lit up, stay connected. We do need people who activate us. We're not meant to do this alone. This is why women, when they come together, it's like we do magical things. So stay connected to people who light you up, who make you want to do more. That's really powerful too. Thank you, Alina. You're a force of nature. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you again, everybody who participated. I cannot wait to be live with you guys again in the next masterclass. If you're in We Go First membership, I'll see you there. If you're in Prosperity Laws, see you there. If you're in Metamorphosis, stay tuned. I think I'm going to launch it after my birthday. Right now, I'm going to focus on selling and talking about prosperity laws, but jump in. It's going to be golden. It's going to be out of this world insane. Okay, so I don't see any questions, so I think we're good. Okay, all right, well, we're wrapped up. Again, thank you, ladies, for coming here. I love you so much. I will tag the ladies again. I did tag them earlier, so you guys can connect with them, follow them, let them expand you. If you hear anything in their stories that you know somebody's struggling with, word of mouth, share it. This is how also we get rewarded. Never entangle your doing and giving frequencies. It's not true that when you give, you're meant to be reciprocated from the same person. It's you give freely, you do freely, and you're going to receive in different ways. I don't do these master classes because I need you guys to buy. I actually just want to connect with you and I want to get my word out, because a lot of times people come out of nowhere, they didn't watch the master class. But I believe in, because I gave, and then the universe is like, she gave incredible things, let's send her something else. We get reciprocated in different ways, not from the person. Don't entangle the frequencies. There's I do freely, I give freely because I love this. It's like my purpose. And I'm always open to receiving magic and miracles. God, universe, if someone doesn't want their clients' money and ideas, send it to me. Be that kind of crazy person. You see a penny, you pick it up. Thank you, universe. I'm a money magnet. Like that kind of vibe. And touch money, be grateful for it. Everything that comes through your life. This is how you amplify it. You start with what you have and you be so grateful for it. And you say, imagine if more, and then more compounds and more compounds. This is the frequency. Okay. All right. I'm logging off now. I love you guys. Thank you again, ladies, for being here. I'll see you guys live in a little bit. I'll probably be live on my personal page to talk about prosperity laws. And I'll post the link in the group if you want to jump in at 111. Okay. It's going to go up on Sunday. So get in now. Mwah. I love you, ladies. I will see you soon.